Alright guys, Revolve Rossler here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the August 10th editions of NXT and the Cruiserweight Classic. This would be the 5th episode of the Cruiserweight Classic, which means we are halfway through this tournament, and the second to last episode of NXT before NXT back to Brooklyn next Saturday night. Looking very much forward to that event. So of course we start with NXT, and we opened up with the NXT Women's Title contract signing between Asuka and Bayley, and these contract signings are always really good. I remember the Becky Lynch and Banks one, the Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks one, should I say, the Becky Lynch and the Sasha Banks and Bayley one, the recent Nia Jax and Asuka one. These contract signings are always really great, and this one was no exception. Bayley here looked strong because she looked like she had some fire, she had aggression, she refused to shake the hand of Asuka. She basically said, last time in this in a contract signing environment, you were laid out by your opponent. If you don't put your hand down, that's going to be what's going to happen here. Asuka just laughs at Bayley, signs the contract. When Bayley leaves, Asuka just smiles. Bayley gets right back in the ring, gives her a stare down. Cool little moment, probably my second favourite moment of the entire night. Best moment of the show, really good stuff. These two women are going to tear it up at NXT Back to Brooklyn, as are all the matches from the look of it. Then we had the Authors of Pain having a squash match. They were against Adrian Nails and Rob Risen. Adrian Nails and Rob Risen are still the two worst names ever. And the Authors of Pain won with the STO, with the Russian leg sweep clothesline. I like the Authors of Pain. They're dominant. They're awesome. I really like them. So fine, and obviously Paul Ellering always helps. Then we had CN coming out, and we haven't seen Andrade Almas in quite some time. So it was nice to see him again. I hate his gimmick still. I hate the suspenders and the hat, but what are you going to do? He took on Angelo Dawkins. This match was fine. He won with what was like an arm trap STO DDT. He hooked the leg and DDT'd him. It was a cool finisher. A little bit convoluted. There's lots of stuff to it that's a bit silly, but the more important thing is what happened after the matchup when glorious Bobby Roode debuted and we all got to hear that lovely theme song again. I felt like this was a good segment. Roode comes out and says, basically, you're my opponent in Brooklyn and I'm going to make NXT Brooklyn glorious. So it'll be Andrade Almas taking on Bobby Roode at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Looking forward to that matchup. I'm looking forward to the debut of Bobby Roode. Then we had Austin Aries backstage with William Regal. Aries was saying, why do I not have an opponent for NXT TakeOver? Which sparked my idea to, why hasn't Hideo Itami got an opponent for a TakeOver? Aries and Itami would be wonderful for everyone to watch. And Regal says, you're right, so I'm going to book you in a match against No Way Jose. So it's No Way Jose against Austin Aries at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. I feel like, honestly, this is the match I'm least looking forward to, but I think Aries is in it, and I hope he wins because Aries is so talented and he shouldn't be losing to a guy like No Way Jose. No Way Jose just doesn't really interest me. If this match might get moved to the pre-show, because there's 6 matches on the card at the moment, but this one here should get moved to tapings probably, and it should just have the 5 on the show. It's cool anyway. Then we had Billie Kay coming out and she took on Liv Morgan this week. Liv Morgan is still a Carmella ripoff. I don't like her music, I don't like her style. It's literally just Carmella. She has the same mannerisms, basically the same character. It's just a gimmick. She's stealing a gimmick. And Billie Kay here. Billie Kay was good. I'm starting to like Billie Kay, but unfortunately it seems like they're going to squash Billie Kay at NXT TakeOver Back to Brooklyn. She will be facing Ember Moon. That's why they've built her up for 2 weeks and have her beat Santana Garrett and Liv Morgan, so she could eventually lose to Ember Moon, who I imagine will be the next contender for the women's title. That's fine, but you need to build some of your other women in this division, and I don't feel like killing Billie Kay at NXT Back to Brooklyn is going to be a good idea. But this was a fine match. I gave it 2 stars. We had Gargano backstage with William Regal. They were talking about why they still haven't got their tag team title match with the Revival at Brooklyn. William Regal says, you're damn right, you deserve a shot at the belts and you're going to get it, so it's finally official. Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano taking on the Revival at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. So we had 3 matches booked on this show for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. There's only 1 more that needs to be booked next week. Then we had Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano in a match. They took on Patrick Clark and Tucker Knight. It's just a match. They won, obviously, with the super kick knee. My theory now is that they're going to split up NXT Brooklyn with Ciampa turning heel. I'd love it if they won tag titles. I love the team to death. I think they're a fantastic tag team. They're great singles wrestlers. I really want them to win the tag title, so I don't want them to split up. So that's what I'm pulling for, I guess, NXT back to Brooklyn. Then we had the main event, Mojo Rawley taking on Samoa Joe. This match didn't last very long, but it didn't need to. Joe dominated Mojo pretty much the entire match and made him tap to the Coquina clutch. If I'm grading it, I'll give it 2.25 stars. It was fine. And that's how you end the show. Well, actually, it's not, because after the matchup, Joe locks it in the Coquina again. Shinsuke Nakamura runs down, all the security run down. The security held back Samoa Joe, and this is why Shinsuke Nakamura is so great. He doesn't punch Joe, because that's not his style. Nakamura is so charismatic that that's not what he would do. He grabs Samoa Joe's nose and steals it. That's so great. I love Shinsuke Nakamura, and that is how you end the show, with Shinsuke Nakamura on top. So that was NXT. It was a fine show. I enjoyed the Billie Kay match a little bit, and I enjoyed the opening segment with Asuka and Bayley. They're very talented in those talking segments of the pair. So moving on, we have the Cruiserweight Classic, and there's only 2 matches on this show. Obviously, next week there's going to be 3. Next week's matches will be Tony Nese against Brian Kendrick, Noam Dar against Ho Ho Loon, and there's one more. There's one more. Damn it. Akira Tozawa against Jack Gallagher. So 3 big matches. 2 of the I'm looking forward to Tozawa and Gallagher, and that's the one I'm looking forward to most next week. This week there was only 2, and you could tell why. These 2 matches probably got the most time that any will, especially the main event. So we kicked off with Gran Metalik taking on Tajiri. They did the same interview stuff backstage, which I've kind of already seen, so it kind of felt a little bit forced. But this was a very good matchup. Metalik did a lot of what he did in his first match, but it's still impressive. The dive over the ropes, the top rope splash from the middle of the ring. Great stuff from Metalik. The whole story of this matchup was really how both men had one move that were trying to hit. Metalik was going for the Fisherman's Driver, Tajiri was going for the Buzzsaw Kick, and both men kept trying and failing, but in the end, it was Tajiri missing a Buzzsaw Kick, which cost him against Gran Metalik. Metalik dodges the Buzzsaw Kick, hits him with the Fisherman's Driver. 1, 2, 3. I thought this was a very good matchup. 3.5 stars I'm going to go. Very, very good stuff from both guys. And in the end, Tajiri, sign of respect after the matchup to Metalik. Metalik advances and will face Akira Tozawa or Jack Gallagher. So, good stuff there. Then we had the main event of the show, Cedric Alexander against Kota Ibushi. And honestly, I thought Gargano and Ciampa last week was a fantastic wrestling match for a different reason to why I thought this match was fantastic. Okay, to cut a long story short, this was an awesome wrestling match. And I'm going to get the criticism out of the way first. It was very slow at the beginning, but in its defence, it needed to be, because you really needed to build to those strikes. So it was very technical wrestling at the beginning. It was all about hammerlocks and wristlocks and headlocks. But after Kota Ibushi hit his first kick to the chest of Cedric Alexander, it was non-stop action. This match was phenomenally well done. Cedric Alexander looked like $1 million or £1 million in England, as we'd say. This was such a great wrestling match. This match was, to me, WWE's version of Ricochet and Ospreay, and I actually think it was better than Ricochet and Ospreay, because what these two had here was they told a more psychological matchup. It all made sense. There wasn't much of a story, but the selling here really made it for me. And I think that's why it was better than Ricochet and Ospreay. That was a great match, but there was no selling or anything really in that match. These 2 guys here sold. Kota Ibushi looked phenomenal here. There was a great spot where Alexander hit an elbow to Ibushi, really stiff, and then Ibushi hit Pele. Alexander, the near falls in this matchup were fantastic. Cedric Alexander hit Ibushi with a brainbuster for a near fall. Then immediately as Ibushi gets up, kicks him in the face for a second near fall. Great spot there. Alexander got a near fall off his jumping clothesline. Ibushi got near falls off a corkscrew moonsault on the floor. Great matchup, and then the finish came when Ibushi caught He caught Alexander with a big head kick and then hit him with the Golden Star last ride sit out powerbomb for the win. This was an awesome wrestling match, and you need to go and watch this matchup. It's 15 minutes long, but it is excellently well put together. And I actually had to watch this twice, because I watched it once with my friend last night, who I always watch the NXT and CWC with, and I felt, you know what, I need to watch that again because I wasn't really focusing. And I watched this again and it blew my mind. This was a 4.5-star match. This is a match of the year contender in this company. This was better than Ricochet and Will Ospreay, and you need to go and watch this matchup. 4.5 stars. These two guys probably had the match of the tournament. I don't know if any match will be able to beat this. I'm shocked a match was better than Gargano and Ciampa a week later. But both matches are great for different reasons. Gargano and Ciampa was great because it told a story. This match was great because it was a spectacle. And that is how you end the show, with Cedric Alexander getting the adulation of the crowd, and the crowd were chanting, "Please sign Cedric," which, please to God, sign Cedric. And then Triple H comes out and holds his arm up and takes him backstage. So Cedric Alexander might be signing with the company, and that is definitely a good thing. So 4.5-star match and a 3.5-star match. This is easily the best episode of CWC they've ever done. They've only done 4, but I do think this is better than last week's because of the amazing quality of that main event. So, thanks for watching, guys. This has been Raw Wrestler. I will, of course, be back next Tuesday with my Raw review. I'll be back next Wednesday with my SmackDown review. I'll be back next Thursday with my NXT and CWC review. I'll be here on Friday, probably, with the NXT Back to Brooklyn predictions. I'll be here Saturday with the SummerSlam predictions. God, I got a busy week. I might do my NXT Back to Brooklyn predictions over the weekend instead, and then get the SummerSlam ones done on maybe the Friday. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. This has been Raw Wrestler. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. Tell me your thoughts on this week's episode of NXT. Tell me your thoughts on this week's episode of the CWC. What did you think to Alexander and Ibushi? Do you think it was better than Gargano and Ciampa last week? And what do you think to the build for the women's title match NXT Back to Brooklyn? I think it's going very, very well. Thanks for watching. This has been Raw Wrestler. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe for more. Check out my videos. Check out all my previous reviews of NXT shows, CWC shows, WWE pay-per-views, whatever. But thanks for watching. This has been Raw Wrestler.